For example number 2, we're asked to write sine of 56 degrees in terms of cosine. So here's an interesting thing that we need to figure out. So in order to do that, what I have to know is that sine and cosine are what we call complements of each other. So if I do my right triangle, this is going to be a little confusing, and I say this angle is 56 degrees, and I know that this is 90 degrees, I know they have to add up to 180. So what I'm going to do to find this other angle, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to take 180 and minus 90. That gives me 90. So that means this angle plus this angle always has to add up to 90. So from my 90, I'm going to subtract 56. And I get that this angle is 34 degrees. Now, sine, to put it in context, the sine of 56, and let me just label this triangle. This is A, B, C, and then remember that the side across from the angle, lowercase, is the side length. So this would be side A, this would be angle A. Okay? This would be angle C, so this would be side C. And then this would be angle B, so this would be lowercase b. So those are my side lengths. Okay? So sine of angle A is equal to the opposite, which is lowercase a, or we could just label it as BC, right? Because this is the opposite over the hypotenuse. In fact, let me label that. So sine of A is the opposite over the hypotenuse. And then we're going to talk about cosine of B, which would be the adjacent of B over the hypotenuse of B. So now if I look at sine of angle A, I'm going to go the opposite of A, which is just going to be the line segment BC. And then the hypotenuse of A is going to be AB. Or if we think in terms of the lowercase, it'd just be A over C. Okay? This is a B. Now, interestingly enough, if I do cosine of B, okay, well, the opposite is lowercase b, but the adjacent is BC. And then the hypotenuse is always going to be the hypotenuse. It doesn't matter which angle you use, because the hypotenuse is always across from the lowercase c, which is across from the capital angle C. So then that would just be AC as well. So if I look at this, then I would say the sine of 56 degrees is equal to the cosine of 34 degrees. And we could determine that and actually prove that on our calculator by saying sine of 56, that gives me this number, which is 0.83 if I'm rounding. And if I put in cosine of 34, I should get the same value. Yep, 0.83 if I'm rounding. Okay? So in other words, when I do this problem, if I want to take something and write it in terms of the opposite or the other, what we would call these cofunctions, but sine and cosine are cofunctions. And so the sine of 56 is the cosine of the complement of 56, which is 34. Does that make sense?